So some of you guys may not know this, but Sharpedo is actually one of my favorite, like, underrated Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that kind of gets higher up on my tier list than a lot of other people. And I think the fact that it got a Mega is just so cool, and the fact that there's Mega cards that are back, you know, I had to give it a try. Mega Sharpedo is actually really good, and the reason for that is that you get to play Hyper Aggro with Dark in a way that not a lot of other types get to play. And the fact that you have Greedy Fang seems like a kind of attack you won't use much, but it actually comes up a lot more than you'd think. And that's because for a single Dark Energy, we swing for 70, which means we're knocking out things like the Tatsugiri, we're knocking out Charmanders, we're knocking out Pidgeys, Dreepies, all that kind of stuff. And we're drawing 2 cards, which is also really nice because we can easily evolve into this and swing into like a Badoo or something like that, not only knocking that out, taking a prize card, but then we're breaking our item lock and we're plussing up 2 more cards to make our next turn even more powerful, which is really nice. The Hungry Jaws as well is really easy because it's just an additional energy, and then we're doing 120 damage, but if we do, or if we have damage on us already, then we're doing 150 more for a total of 270, which is a kind of weird like point of damage, but we can amplify that really easily. And the way that we're going to get the damage on ourselves is really easy because we're going to be using Toxtricity with the Sinister Search, where during your turn you can use this ability, search your deck for a basic Dark Energy card, attach it to one of your benched Dark Pokemon, and then you put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you do this with. So not only are we able to very quickly energy accelerate our Sharpedo, but we're able to put the damage counters on it, which will activate the Hungry Jaws. This is all really good, and then we get to use Munkidori on top of that because we only need 10 damage in order for our Hungry Jaws to be activated. We don't need the other 10. So we can move 10 damage, and that's putting us to 280 automatically, and that's before we do any additionals, or if we have multiple Munkidoris and like our opponent attacks into us, or if we've had a couple turns of putting the the sinister damage on us, or whatever the case may be, we get to move upwards to like 60 damage if we have 2 Munkidoris down, and so then we're swinging for massive amounts. But to make it even more consistent, our A-Spec of choice is going to be the Max Belt. This is just going to make it really easy to take all the KOs that we really want and need, and then to amplify that further, we do have the Gravity Mountain. Gravity Mountain's really important to knock out things like Charizard EX and even some of the Megas that we see around right now, so like Mega Charizard EX and some other pieces. It's pretty important. It helps us knock out Dragapult a little bit easier as well, so it's really nice to have. And then we're also running a copy of Town Store. Town Store is just super good. It's a stadium bump as well as the ability to help find our other items, simply speaking. Also the Binding Mochi, which is going to add 40 damage to our Pokemon, which is also really powerful. You could run the Hero's Cape if you wanted to be able to absorb some extra damage and like swing back and use monkeys and stuff like that, but I found that more often than not I just want to be able to swing first rather than to be able to swing back. We are playing a copy of Yveltal. I just like this card because retreat locking sometimes can just be a really good way to clutch out a game, and it can be really powerful. You don't need this card in the deck, but I think it's good, and it also is just an additional free retreater to make things a little bit easier, since you do need your Toxtricity. You need things on the bench in order to move things to it, so sometimes it's nice. And obviously you do also have Pecharunt, but just the additional is really nice. We also played the Tatsugiri, and this is super good because a lot of times you're going to be using your Pecharunt to move your Sharpedo to the active, and then Sharpedo has no retreat cost. So what you can do is you can start, let's say like you attack with Sharpedo, you can retreat out, bring in your Tatsugiri, go attract customers, find yourself a supporter for turn, and then use Pecharunt to move the Sharpedo back into the active. So then you're swinging, you're repoisoned for your Binding Mochi, you get a supporter for the turn, and it's just super strong. We also play the Psyduck because one of the downfalls of this deck is like if your opponent just gets to pop off with Dragapult and like Dusknoir combos, it's really hard because your bench is pretty reliant on stuff, and so like a Dusknoir plus Pult damage just destroys you, so you definitely need Psyduck. One other addition I have in this deck right now is Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper is really good in this deck because you don't want your opponent being able to play things like Hero's Cape and like make it so you're not one-shotting, because if we're two-shotting, then we're kind of falling behind. So you need to be able to get rid of like Bravery Charms on Kangaskhan, or getting rid of like Hero's Capes and things like that. So it's really useful. Definitely run one. We also play one copy of Turo's. Turo's is really good for resetting our Sharpedos and just like kind of taking them out of the game if they're damaged, or sometimes it's nice just to remove Pech or Fez from the board to get rid of 2 prize liabilities. And yeah, that's just about it. I do play 4 Lilies, 4 Iono, and 3 Arven. And you could change the Arvens to be like researches or something, but I found most of the time I like having the Arven and just the ability to grab my max belt a little bit easier and grab like a random Ultra Ball or something like that, then I would feel comfortable just like going research and dumping everything. But you totally could if that's what you wanted to run instead. But yeah, that's just about it for the list. Be sure to let me know what you guys think of the list and any changes that you'd make and what you're excited to see with the new format and things like that. It's been a long time coming and I'm really excited for it. Just been super busy because of midterms, and now I'm like moving into finals for grad school, so it's like for the semester, so it's been nuts. But you know, we got there in the end. But with that said, I will see you guys all in game number 1 in a second. But before I do, I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support and sticking with the channel for as long as you have. It's greatly appreciated. So thank you guys so much for that. And now I will see you all in game 1. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1. We're going to be going first. Which, I mean, I'd prefer to go second, but I don't really mind going first. Because typically, you know, a situation like this will happen. Like, we'll get Carvanha on board, we'll have Buddy Poffin, so then we'll just grab ourselves, like, honestly, I'm fine grabbing... Alright, well, I guess it's not going to let me grab Tatsugiri. Alright, well, guess we get another Carvanha. We could just go Psyduck as well, but I think this is fine. Kind of annoying that it just won't let us grab the Tatsugiri. But like, it's fine, it is what it is. On the next turn, I mean, we'll probably get Bedewed here, which is like, again, minorly annoying, but not that big a deal. We'll drop the Iono with the goal of getting into Sharpedo, because if we can get into Sharpedo, we can start swinging with just the 1 energy, and that's going to be really good for us, because also when we swing, we're going to be able to +2, so we'll take a knockout on Badoo and +2, which will be really good. But obviously that involves us getting the Iono off and getting into our pieces. If we're really lucky, we'll be... I mean, best case scenario, we Iono, get Sharpedo and Toxtricity, and then we can go like energy onto the Carvanha, which is only risky because we want to make sure that we are we want to make sure we're like healing that damage off, because otherwise if they go like Rare Candy Dragapult, that's going to be an issue. We do see them discard double Dracloak. That's pretty crazy. In comes the Badoo, so they have to have energy in hand, energy retreat the Dreepy. Would be my guess. But them discarding double Dracloak is pretty detrimental. I have to assume they either just have the other 2 in hand, or their hand's really bad. We'll see what we top deck. We get an Ultra Ball. Can't really use that. We do have to Iono here. Their hand's probably pretty bad. We get Toxtricity, but not really the other pieces we're looking for. We will go Sinister Surge. This is really risky, because if they go... Essentially, so we'll KO Badoo here, because we kind of have to. And we'll get ourselves a prize card. The main risk here is that if they have like Rare Candy Dragapult Neo Upper, then we just lose. But if they have that, then I mean, like, good game, you know? Like, there was nothing else we could have done. So, we can't really, like, play around the idea on if that could happen or not. You know what I mean? So, Buddy Poffin comes in. Realistically, we have to assume they're probably just going to try to, like, Badoo us again. We see double Duskull on board, so I really do need to get that Psyduck out. They countercatch Toxtricity to the active, and that's kind of fine with me because I can... Alright, never mind. I was going to say I can Nest Ball out like Pecharunt or something. I mean, that works out really well. Jamming Tower. Alright, that's annoying because now I have to use Pecharunt, and I didn't really want to. We'll evolve here. I think what we'll do is I'm going to go Arven. Grab these. I can use Buddy Poffin. Yeah. I could get myself Nest Ball. Let's check to make sure we have Pech in the deck. We do. Alright. So I can't move anything yet until I break this. So I think what I'm going to do is just grab myself this. Ultra Ball these two away. Grab myself the Pecharunt. Place the Pecharunt down. Subjugating Chains. Bring this to the active. I'll place the energy onto it for now. And we'll leave this Toxel, because I don't really need to do anything yet. And then we'll go Greedy Fangs, since the added damage doesn't make a difference. And we get ourselves 2 more cards. Now, again, alright, that's not great. Again, the biggest worry for us at the moment is like a rare candy play. But if they got it, they got it. And if they rare candy... like, if they use a rare candy at this point onto this and they swing for 200, that's fine, we get the clap back. They're going to knock out Carvanha, but then we just start to, like, build up a Pech. Pech will finish off that KO, and we'll kind of play out our scenario from there. I guess we arguably could have kept the Carvanha in hand rather than the Toxel. But my idea here is that they weren't going to have rare candy and like an aggressive play to make. We have Psyduck, so they're not going to be able to use their Dusclopses and things like that. So I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. But this is why Psyduck is so broken. Like, it's such a good card right now. I think the other thing, too, this is like an underrated part of Mega Sharpedo. The Greedy Fang goes such a long way because it's 70 damage, so it's going to be knocking out, like, all... that was weird. It's going to be knocking out, like, all these small, like, basics and all this kind of stuff. And we're getting 2 cards for it. So we're not, like, wasting a whole bunch of, like, extra damage. And we're not, like, stuck in these weird scenarios. So, like, works out pretty well for us. We're going to go ahead, knock out the Duskull. I would love to be able to get into... Okay, perfect. I was going to say, my main thing here is that I would love to be able to get into a, like a Munkidori play. Which, this is not that at all. What? I guess at this point, I'll throw 1 onto this. I don't even need to bump the Jamming Tower right now. We'll go Greedy Fang. We'll take another knockout. It looks like they're just kind of stuck. We're just applying a lot of pressure. We have all the search we need in order to get into our Munkidori on the next turn, but I don't think that we will get the opportunity to. I mean, best case scenario for us, they evolve into Dracloak, or Dragapult rather, come in and swing into us. Put the spread damage onto like Psyduck or something. And then we get to Nest Ball out our Munkidori, drop an energy on it, spread the damage onto the Badoo, take the knockout, and then drop Gravity Mountain. And swing with Mega Sharpedo and the Binding Mochi. And knock out the Dragapult. Would be the most ideal case scenario. Whether that'll happen or not, we don't know. There's the evolution into the Dusknoir. There's the evolution into the Dragapult. The question now is, will they bring this in to attack, or are they going to just try to stall one more turn with Badoo? Research comes down. They could try a play of going and finding like Counter Catcher, going Counter Catcher onto Pecharunt with like Hawlucha. So like if they could find Hawlucha, drop that down, put this to 60, Pecharunt, like go Counter Catcher onto Pecharunt, pull this up, knock out both of these, bring them themselves to 3, and then it would be a little bit harder to get the KO onto the Dragapult EX. And that could be the play they go for. In comes the Phantom Dive. So they didn't have Hawlucha to make that play like as powerful as they probably would have wanted it to be. Alright, we're going to bring in this Sharpedo because it has free retreat. We get a boss's orders. I think what the play here is that we go Nest Ball for our Munkidori. We attach an energy to Monkey. We Brain 30. Take the knockout. See what we get off our prizes. Arven. Alright, perfect. So now we go Arven for our Night Stretcher Max Belt. We don't actually need the Max Belt, but it's nice. We'll go grab our Pecharunt. Subjugating Chains. Pull the Mega Sharpedo to the active. Drop this. Drop this. And swing for 320. Taking the knockout for our last 2 prizes. And we played that kind of clean. I mean, we didn't need the max belt, but it's nice. So we get a little bit of the overkill onto the Dragapult and call it a day from there. And that's going to be game number 1. We'll jump into 2 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and we're going to be going first. We're up against Stuntman Sam. They got the cool... What are these from? Like Obsidian Flame or something? They're not Obsidian Flame, are they? I don't remember. They're cool, though. I kind of want them. How do I get them? I'll look into that later. I'm a big fan of the cosmetics. Not really even the cosmetics, but the coins. I want to get all the coins that I can. Alright, we're going to go Nest Ball for Monkey. Dark Energy onto the Monkey Pass. Because I want to just get that established. Because on the next turn, most Charizard decks are not playing Badoo. So I don't have to be as worried about like an item lock coming in. And so, ooh, they're playing the new Charmander. And so, because I don't have to be as worried about the Badoo coming in, it allows me to play a little bit more risky, where on the next turn I can play Pecharunt down I can go Arven for Ultra Ball away whatever I draw in the Yveltal, get myself the Toxtricity, use Toxtricity to get 1 energy onto my Carvanha, and then use Pecharunt to bring the Carvanha into the active, and swing, not only knocking out the Pidgey, but also giving myself 2 more cards off the Greedy Fang. Now I do need to deal with this Oricorio, but I don't need to deal with it right this second. But I definitely want another Carvanha set up. Ooh. I do kind of like the idea of risking it all. I do really like this idea. Alright, I'm going to go Lilies instead of Arven, because if I go Arven, alright, this worked out really well. The main thing is that if I go Arven, right, I have to discard my, I'm forced into discarding the Lilies, and then I have no supporter on the next turn. I'd have to like hope I draw into one. In this case, what I'm able to do is I'm able to get both of my Munkidoris powered up. We'll go Subjugating, and now I get to knock out this. I get my 2 cards, and I get to have double Munkidori powered up for later. So if I don't get one shot here, which I shouldn't, unless they do like a really big Mega Charizard EX play to knock me out, I should be fine. And if that's the case, then I'll be able to move 60 damage between the 2 Munkidoris, knock out Pidgey if they don't get the evolution off. And that looks like that's going to be the case, which is really, really good for me. Because they played an overexpanded bench. If I can get a boss here too, off like a top deck. Unfortunate. But it's okay. We're going to go Sinister. Get that. I'm down to go Lilies, see what I find, if I can get. I'm down to bump with Gravity Mountain. I'm going to retreat, bring this in. And then what we'll do is KO the Pidgey here, which will give me an additional prize card and help heal this up. And just getting rid of Pidgey is always good. It would have been really nice for this to be an energy, so that way we could knock this out as well. But we can't, but it's okay. I can put damage on this, get myself 2 more cards, and then I still have 60 damage to move, so I will be able to KO it on the next turn. There's the Charizard EX. That is something that we will be able to one-shot. Potentially, anyway. Alright, Iono comes in, so honestly that's fine. There's nothing in our hand that we like desperately needed. Actually, that's best case scenario. Because now I have an energy, so I can go Heavy Jaws. If I can get a way to buff my damage with either Binding Mochi or Max Belt, then I'm in a really good position. And I have a decent chance of finding that, because on the next turn, I am going to be able to knock this out by just moving 60 damage again. There's another energy. We'll go Sinister. Attach here. And then we'll move 60. Knocking this out. Grabbing a prize. If it's boss, that's cool. It's unfortunately not, but we'll see what they decide to bring in. place one here. Retreat out. And then we'll KO this just to get one more prize. Finding a lot of energy. I would really prefer to find boss, but it's fine. It's not that big a deal. Because I just want to... The main thing here, too, is that I want to, like, let this one get KO'd. Because I can bring this one in with more damage on it. And then I can just move 60 damage off this onto the Charizard. I have Gravity Mountain already. So I'll be able to just one-shot the Charizard down and take my last two prizes. But yeah, they played a kind of overexpanded bench early. Really sucks that they had to attack with this twice. Honestly, it sucks they had to attack with it twice. Or even once for that matter, but not much could be done about that. They do pull this up. They go Blazing Darkness. That actually does matter. Because it means we're in a bit more of an awkward position. With that said, I think we actually one-shot anyway, right? Because we can just move 30 damage, and that'll be enough. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, 170. Yeah, so we're fine, actually. So then what I'll do is I'll place this. We'll go... Technically, I could have made another play, but... We'll go and see if we can find a way to boost our damage just for the fun of it. We cannot, but that's okay. We're going to go Subjugating, bring that in, knock that out. So, pretty easy game. Didn't make that much of a difference. And yeah, that's game number 2. We'll do one more for the fun of it. I just love Sharpedo, so I just want to keep playing it. And I'll see you guys in game 3. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and we're going to be going second. We get our Carvanha. Not much else, but it's not too bad. Reshiram. Interesting. We'll probably just go Nest Ball for Toxel, maybe. And then just go Energy onto Carvanha Lilies. I think that might just be the play. Seems like a pretty rough turn from our opponent. This is going to be like a Tepig or a Charmander or something. Oh, Cleffa. That makes sense if they have a better way to retreat this. So that makes me feel more confident that I can kind of just take my time here. Because it tells me they don't really have much going for them, so I can just let this rock, I think. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Grab this, grab this. I have my evolutions ready. Yeah, we're chilling. Lillie's is so strong, man. I assume they have to retreat and go Cleffa here. Yeah. Huge. Wow. That's actually so good for me. So I'm going to be able to get my evolutions off. Go Arven. Arven for... I don't really want to have to grab Air Balloon. I guess grabbing Air Balloon's not horrible. My Nest Balls are... Well, my other Nest Ball's prized. That's minorly annoying, but... I don't know if I'm even going to need this game. I'll get rid of these for now, I think. Get myself Petch. We'll go Energy down. Bring this in. Subjugating. Grab that. Place this down. And then if I had more damage, I would monkey to this or something. But it's fine. So then we'll go Greedy Fangs. Knock this out. Plus up 2 cards. Nice and easy. There's an Arven, which I'd probably prefer to play over the Iono anyway. Reshiram seems kind of irrelevant here. Trolley would be a good card. Oh, they actually play it. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect them to actually be playing Trolley. Okay. Flip the script comes out. There's an Energy TM Evo. Looks like we're gonna see Charmeleons here. Only one, so I'm guessing one's prized. Which, like, kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Like, for them anyway. I mean, not for me, obviously. For me, it's pretty sweet. We'll go Sinister. Power up our Mega Sharpedo. And then, honestly, I kind of want to just go Iono here. The problem is that, like, they're not really getting anything done, though. And I have, like, better plays I can be making. So I'm going to get rid of this and this. Grab myself another monkey. And just be set up on my monks. And then I think the play here is we're just going to move 30 damage to that, so that way that's prepped. And then I'll move another 20 just to make sure that's as weak as possible. Go Hungry Jaws, take a knockout, go to 4 prizes. Hey, there's a town store, not that that really matters, but it can help bump a stadium if it becomes relevant. And that way, with the damage down onto this, if they evolve into Charizard, which they just did, I will have the ability to KO this. Okay, that's why it didn't work. Their Charmeleon was in hand. So even if they swing and KO me here, that's totally fine. I just bring Toxtricity into the active, use the Sinister, put 20 damage onto this, and then I can go Max Belt down. Honestly, I won't even need Max Belt, so I might hold on to it. Probably not. I'll probably just go Max Belt down, Town Store. Or if anything, I might go Town Store down, attach Max Belt, Iono PAL Mochi, maybe? What's the best way to sequence this? This is also under the idea they KO me on this turn, because they don't have even a way to accelerate the energy, so actually I don't even need to overthink this. Their deck is really bad. So we just throw that, we throw this, throw that. We Iono, get ourselves 4 cards, push all this to the bottom, because clearly all their cards are bad, so it doesn't really matter. We may as well just do what's in our best interest. Go Sinister. Get an energy there. And from here, we'll move 20. And go ahead and Hungry Jaws. Taking a KO onto that. Where we get an energy and a Nest Ball. Yeah, this isn't working out too well. I mean, they could have powered it up, right? I guess, dude, I don't know how you're bricking this hard. That's insane. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one. But, alright, that's going to be game number 3 because it's like nearly 9:30 at night. And I really want to get this video out for you guys. So that's going to be it for game number 3. I'll see you guys in the breakdown in a second. Peace. Going into the breakdown for Mega Sharpedo feels way better than I thought it was going to. And in terms of like rating it, I would say that its power is definitely a 5 out of 5. It's super, super strong. It's able to one-shot just about everything. Obviously, there are some niche cases, like you're not going to be able to one-shot like Mega Venusaur or whatever, but like all the relevant cards you're taking care of with really no real issue. It's really good. And then having the ability to one-shot Guardy really easily as well, just for like hitting for weakness, is really, really nice. Being able to one-shot why am I skipping on the name? The End Zoroark, and not having to ever really worry about like the rage mechanic is really good as well. The ability to get around like Charizard and all that kind of stuff, and as well as like live an attack from Charizard in most cases, is really good. And yeah, it's really, really, really powerful. In terms of consistency, I really had no issues with this deck in terms of like getting the game plan going, getting the game plan flowing. There's definitely some issues that I have had, but I feel like they're more like play mistakes than actual like issues of like, I think it's more like the deck is still just very new. But in terms of like getting the game plan going and like getting those first couple turns like really, really well off, I think it's been super easy to do. The only thing that I don't feel super confident on right now is the matchups for the deck, and that's mostly just because the deck is still so new and the meta is just still being kind of determined, so it's like kind of rough to figure out exactly where everything should be and how things are, but definitely really good kind of across the board. So overall, I want to give this deck a 4 out of 5. I think it's very, very strong, and I'm very excited to see where this deck can kind of go as the meta develops and things kind of change and wax and wane. But yeah, that's just about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and definitely let me know what you want to see in the next video. But for now, that's going to be all. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.